Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends. We're going to very depressing lands.
With anxiety and PTSD, it's all fun in my head.
It's adventure time!
Anyway, welcome to our episode 4 of our Adventure Time review, basically. He's Duke and I'm Mayhem, and we just finished season 7 and 8 of Adventure Time. Oh my god. The fact that I'm this far into Adventure Time is so ludicrous to me.
You're almost done.
I'm almost done!
In fact, next video you will be done. With the show.
Yeah, with the main show.
The initial show, yeah. So, let's get right to it. And I have 4 story arcs that I need you to talk about, okay?
Yes.
Here are the major ones. Yeah, because in season 7 and 8, we had major story arcs where they stretched multiple episodes, so I went ahead and made sure to include those.
Yeah.
First big one was Stakes.
Oh, yes. That's the one where we learn about Marceline's whole vampire stuff. And, oh my god, this was something that I actually did see that was so different that I didn't actually think it was actually Adventure Time.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was like a special thing. But, like, the setup and the characters and, like, the setup of, like, how Marceline met early humans. She defended them by fighting that the world was full of vampires, and she literally killed all of them.
Yeah. And then the last one, King of the Vampires, bit her.
Yeah.
And, once again, very horrifying scene.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, and that scene itself was very creepy, as all vampire scenes should be. If somebody's being bit by a vampire and unwillingly turned, it should be terrifying.
Yes.
And it genuinely was.
It definitely conveyed the right tone and atmosphere, how you were just like, oh my god!
Speaking of tone, let's flip it. Next arc was Mo.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, yes!
I mean, you could say we flipped the tone back to good, but then you've got Olmo.
Then oh my god, yeah, that I thought BMO was gonna be part of, like, in a simulation hive mind situation. Which did happen, it's just, it didn't want, it knew that BMO was his own thing, and they didn't have to simulate him.
Because he had imagination. Give your quick thoughts on Stakes, of, like, what you would rate it.
I think Stakes is one of my favorite mini arcs of Adventure Time.
What was your favorite part?
Like, the entire part of how the king, when he came back, that he actually didn't want to be, like, evil and all that kind of stuff. He just wanted to continue living.
It was like he was given a second chance, is what he felt.
Yeah, and he didn't want it to waste that chance on being evil, and that was amazing to see.
I'll say Moon. What an interesting character.
Oh.
Yeah, no, all the vampires were real interesting. I really like the Hierophant. May I come in? Yo, one of those classic vampires! Eat shit, nerd! That's a character that we need to mention real quick. I'm just Peppermint Butler.
Yes. He's in his own realm of, like,
chaos.
Yeah, just he's not present and in the best way. Like, in the story, he's there, but his mind isn't.
Yeah, Mr. Peppermint Butler is always the best.
Do you always sleep with a plate?
Yeah.
Anyway.
The Mo arc, what was your favorite part about that?
Like, BMO committing murder.
I do love that scene as well, of like, Mo, maybe you can come live with us. No, I think I'm too young for that, or too old. I kind of killed somebody right now. I gotta process that for a minute.
Yeah, I've committed murder.
Yeah, I kind of killed somebody. I gotta process that real quick.
Like, that was insane. Just
also,
like,
the way that he killed him was absolutely insane as well.
Yeah, that you, like, reverse the thing.
It wasn't even anything crazy. He just jumped on the ball that was meant to launch and, like
reverse the magnet thing so it sent. And, like, yeah, BMO had a ton of, like, development right then and there. And it was actually done good. Like, you know how, like, most of the time in shows that characters, like, they have, like, one episode developments, and how sometimes you're like, wait a second, you wouldn't be fixed immediately from this, but then seeing how BMO is,
yeah,
that would absolutely be the case.
It's kind of interesting the way that each character has moments where, like, you think that they're starting to regress or they're just staying the same, and then all of a sudden they'll drop a line and you'll be like, oh, you have changed. Next arc We gotta talk about the pre-island arc.
Oh, yes.
When we first meet Dr. Gross, all the way to when we get used to Fern.
Oh, Fern. And, like, I always knew about, like, a grass fin and all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, what, does he get, like, grass armor or something like that? No, this is literally from Finn Sword combined with the Grass Sword Curse combined together to create a clone of Finn.
Yep.
That it is him, but different.
Fern is an interesting character on so many levels because of what he is. He's basically, imagine if you woke up, you felt like you were yourself, but you saw and was told by everybody else that you weren't.
Yeah, that everybody... Yeah, exactly. Like, what if you woke up and, like, you had every single memory that you had, but everybody was telling you that you weren't you?
It's honestly a terrifying idea.
Yeah.
No, even, like, when we first see how he was made of, like, the grass demon.
Grass wizard.
No, I mean the grass demon. Remember?
Oh, the little octopus spider guy.
Yeah, the grass demon, when he latched onto him and just, like, took over the body and said, don't worry, we'll get out of here later, and I'll do the talking. And it's the way to explain why the voice actor is different.
Yep.
We need to mention Susan Strong during that pre-island arc.
Yes. Susan Strong. She's somebody that, like, at first had very little, like, presence in the story, but when she is there, she has a very big presence.
Oh, yeah.
And this
for multiple reasons.
I wasn't gonna go there, but thankfully you did.
No, I'm talking about the fact that she's huge.
This one, like, she's a very big character in this pre-arc and the actual arc that we're going to talk about in a second. Yeah. That, with her always having a large presence in the story when she's there, the fact that she's now in this arc is a big thing, because she's going to have stakes, goals, desires, and all that kind of stuff.
And this arc had nothing to do with the stakes arc.
I don't want to have to make you work for the censors, because I know I already did it once, but I'm doing everything I can to not make you have to censor again.
You're welcome. Anyway.
No, you're welcome!
But yeah, no, that entire arc with her was awesome, to just see the fact that she's not a machine. She just has enhancements, basically.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Next arc we get, of course, is the big one for this season.
Islands!
The Islands arc, where we visit all these different islands, and we are in search of the humans that remain, basically.
Yeah, and how human society has survived and also changed.
There's the dragon episode. Whipple? Yeah, Whipple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Whipple. That episode was about as exciting as he was.
Yeah.
Then there is the episode with the old German lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, the German researcher.
And how she was on this island of ever-changing climate, and like how weird it was.
They were studying it until everybody died.
Until like some accident and all that kind of stuff happened.
Isn't there one shot where somebody, you literally see them die?
Yes, where like it was one of the giant parrot things just come up and snap and kill somebody. What was the next? The next one was the VR place.
It was the VR place.
Yeah, and BMO, like they went to VR chat.
Yeah, but wait, you forgot the best part.
What?
Jake and his egg.
Oh my god, yes.
I love that scene of like him carrying the egg. Like, are you gonna just carry that from now on? Maybe. I don't know what I'm doing with it. Yum, yum, yum. Egg and me.
There's an egg.
I love that. I love that line.
But yeah, just
VR chat.
BMO being massive, muscular.
The mod of VR chat.
And mod of VR chat, yeah. And it's just the entire sequence of Finn and Jake being put into the VR thing.
Selecting all this different stuff. And it fills in the name bar. But then the best part of just like Finn later on of just like, would you like me to give you a different skin that looks beautiful? And him just being like, nah, I'm kind of used to it.
And then Jake's like, yeah, I'll take one.
And like, Jake, I'll take one. It's just, I'm beautiful.
And then he immediately leaves.
Yeah. Which, yeah, that did make sense when you really think about it. To just be like, I would love if in any other situation that was possible, to just be like, solve the situation immediately of just like, oh no, we're all trapped in a VR game. Done.
Not anymore. Whatever will we do? I want like a different alternate version of Sword Art Online where it's like you guys are trapped in the game, and they're all just like, what if we just and like all the players just disappear? And the guy's just like, shit. Back to Adventure Time. And at the end of the VR episode, when it's just like when Susan kind of gets more of her memory back, and she goes, "We're gonna go see your mom." To Finn.
That wasn't the VR episode. That was the next episode where we went to her island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was not Founder's Island, but it was a different island.
Yeah, it was the one where
they're
where
trained.
where she was trained and her friend
Frida.
I just find it funny that her name is Frida and she's always trying to be free.
No, in general, just later on in that episode, I see Frida. I'm just like, big buff lesbian and her tiny partner. Yes. Because Mayhem made the joke when they were leaving of like, look, it is the 3 types of lesbians because Princess Bubblegum, Marceline, and also Susan Strong were there.
Where it's just giant buff, muscular lady.
It's buff, science, and goth.
Smarts and buff. Yeah.
Buff, science, and goth. Who knew? The 3 lesbians.
Choose your character.
It's the 3 branches.
the three classes.
What is your race? Lesbian. What is your class?
Science.
Buff. Goth. I mean, that's just rogues in D&D.
But yeah, we also get to learn Susan's backstory.
Yeah.
And like her entire island.
Sad.
And oh my god, and
she had a Wreck-It Ralph story.
Yeah. Yes! Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, and that was so saddening of just like she's trying to help her friend, but then also she's got implants which make it so that the moment she's activated, she had to stop her friend and didn't kill her, but destroyed her boat so that she couldn't leave.
Right.
And yeah, that's so messed up.
Like how she was used for security purposes.
Speaking of messed up, let's talk about Finn's parents.
Yeah! We finally learned their story.
Yeah, so their whole story is that Martin was always an asshole.
He plays both sides.
Yeah, he plays both sides. He would help people off the island, but he would also like tell people how to escape the island and then turn them in.
Yeah.
So just
give an anonymous tip.
Yeah, overall bastard kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also get to see that on one of his failed missions, he gets to meet Finn's mom, Minerva, and they end up falling in love. They end up making Finn, and it's a really nice story. Yeah, it's really nice.
It starts off like actually good. Like they would have been happy there.
He tries to escape his past life. Too bad the past comes back to bite.
Yeah.
And it does. And he ends up having to run away with his son to ensure that he's safe. Gets caught and gets messed up. He sacrifices himself for his son.
Yeah.
We know what happens to him in the future, that he becomes a bastard and then he becomes space dust, basically. But at this point, he's just a man looking out for his kid. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Finn, we get to see how he got that ocean fear, because he was left on the ocean for who knows how long.
And we just don't know yet how he got from there to Boom Boom.
He just drifted.
But it's the journey that
the journey that happened, literally, that's what they're trying to say, of he just drifted and then just began wandering as a little baby.
And how did he get his hat?
Oh, he skinned a bear.
At a child? His child? I need to see that.
Well, that's just an in general thing of, dude, like, no, he didn't have it as a baby when his parents first met him. Of course not. Like, they say at one point when his hat becomes sentient of, like, okay, let's go skin a bear. We get this whole thing that turns out that Dr. Gross, this mad scientist who just began splicing animals, ended up creating a super pandemic that killed every helper. Basically, the doctors on the island.
Yeah, that Finn's mom was the only one, and she had to upload her mind matrix style.
And she did, and she ended up saving the island. And later on, when Finn finally returns, she's so overfilled with joy that she asked him to join. and he says no, and leads basically a mini revolt on the island.
Yeah, like it's a Mom, you're going crazy right now. I still love you, but you're going crazy. That's
that story.
That's the revolt.
It's the real life thing of like, Mom, I love you, but also you're a bit of a tyrant.
You're kind of enslaving your people.
And that's how a child dies. He does that. He shows her the truth that where he comes from, he has been helping people nonstop. Every day he goes out and helps people, and she gets so filled with joy realizing that her son became a helper just like her. She lets him leave, promises this whole thing that the humans will come back to Ooh someday. Yeah, that's really cool.
And then Susan and Frida, they go off in their own direction, and the hug that Frida gives Susan is just another one of those,
Frida and Susan go off, and definitely don't become a couple, because Cartoon Network at that time wouldn't like that. Anyway, now that we're done talking about the arcs, I want to get real quick into the characters. Or do you want to get into the specific episodes you want to talk about?
Let's do the specific episodes first.
I want to give you like a sentence each. Okay.
So football, when BMO switches consciousness, planes of existence with football, like that was insane. The fact, like the design choice of how the room that he was in only matches what you see through the mirror. Like, that was a crazy detail. It's a crazy thing where it's just like somebody that was trapped in this hell for so long wants out, and unfortunately that you're the sacrifice, so obviously you want back into your life, but they're still going back to hell. The next one, President Porpoise is missing, or whatever it's called, where we get to see a bit of the political side of the underwater society of fish and stuff, and how the shifty blowfish vice president, he's obviously the one that kidnapped him. Obviously.
So Jake fully just beat the shit out of a politician without really needing to.
Of a foreign country.
Yeah, he beat up the shit out of a foreign political opponent, basically.
Yeah.
For no reason. Dude, it's like if... Imagine Logan Paul goes to Russia and beats the shit out of Putin. And it's like, why are you doing this? Yeah. Because he kidnapped somebody. Well, probably, but still.
The next one is the Bad Jubies, the stop motion one. Because I love stop motion movies and stuff like that. And seeing Adventure Time like do this self-contained story with, oh my god! With Princess, Lumpy Space Princess. And like the, who voiced the storm again?
Michael Richardson?
Michael Richardson? Like, we'll know for sure, but that's going to be our current guess.
That's the name that always pops in mind.
But we'll have it show up in post. But
yeah.
But yeah, it was another one of those great self-contained stories with different animation.
Yeah.
And then one that absolutely was insane for me, the Hall of Egress, where Finn had to like astral project into this maze, into the real world, and then couldn't open his eyes to find the same place again in like another alternate reality, to find it again, and that's when the door finally opens. And it took him a long time to actually find it. That was insane.
That entire episode was so trippy.
Yeah. And like seeing the sky through the ground and all that kind of stuff. That was trippy.
That kid's been through so much.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That was it.
There are no more episodes?
Yeah, that was it.
Really?
I wanted to
3?
I wanted to keep it brief.
Okay. Well, may as well mention some of the most notable characters of this 2 seasons. First off, PB and Marceline.
Yes. Just yes. Their character developing together thing is yes.
Her losing her kingdom, getting it back. Marceline going through the entire stakes arc.
Yeah, they've definitely been going through some heavy loss and their entire environment being forcibly changed, and them coming to terms with that and becoming better out of it.
And PB is not done developing, considering the fact that now she has to deal with the fact that she has elemental powers.
Oh yeah, the elemental thing. I like how it's the 4 basic elements of the world: fire, ice, slime, candy.
Candy becomes the most powerful one.
BMO.
BMO
is growing up.
Yeah.
In the same way that, like, we're watching Finn grow up, we're watching BMO grow up, too. And BMO's a bit more comedic relief, but, still...
Cares for his family.
Yeah.
Jake's kids.
Oh, my... Their episodes that they have with, like...
Here, I'll see if I can remember the names. TV, Kim Kil-won, Charlie, Jake Jr., Viola.
I don't think she had an episode.
Viola had an episode. She was the actress.
Oh, I thought that was,
Jake Jr. got an episode when it came to the whole robbery thing.
Yeah.
Kim Kil-won took their house.
And also the recent one was the with his daughter.
Yeah, there was a whole...
The fact that Jake's a grandpa!
Yeah.
TV had that...
TV is just TV.
Yeah.
Like, he's growing up in it as himself.
Now he's living with his grandparents.
Yeah, no, he's finding his own way to...
No, yeah, his grandparents. I was about to freak out for a second, but no, yeah.
No, they are great-grandparents.
They are great-grandparents, but... Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's him learning to live as himself, basically.
Yeah.
Of, like, he's trying to discover himself. Which, yeah, it's cool that they're portraying all these kids in different ways. Of, like, there's the troublemaker, the one who wants to be an actress, there's the one who wants to live a normal life, the businessman. There's...
The voodoo one!
Charlie. Which, yeah, Charlie's whole story of she's a voodoo kid. And then there is TV, who just wants to find himself.
Yeah. Just different ones that have great progression.
Betty.
Oh my god. Like, her trying to understand this world is... And, like, she's doing her own thing because she's trying to save Simon and understand the crown and all that kind of stuff. And what she did to Magic Man and how he's Normal Man now.
Speaking of, Normal Man.
Yeah. But Betty, she is... Let's hope that her ends... like, that whole thing of the ends don't justify the means. Let's hope that, that she doesn't cross that line.
Banana Guards.
Oh, yeah, that they were terrified of their god, basically, of Princess Bubblegum, who at first, like, claimed to care about her candy people, but she was so easy to, like, change them from having personalities and stuff like that. Like, different. I'm gonna completely destroy your entire existence and make a new one. And when she was just like, the fact that you guys were so terrified to show me how you've grown speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
Like, that was a huge thing.
Finsword and Fern.
Finsword, that was, Finsword becoming Fern is a very big, like, long time setup, because, like, with no Finsword, we wouldn't have Fern. With, with how they got Finsword, with, like, bringing back... Prismo, that's his name. But yeah, when they brought back Prismo, and, like, all that crazy shit had to happen in order for that to happen.
Never forget Prismo Prickles.
Prismo Pickles.
Anyway, yeah, Fern is an interesting character. We will see a lot more of him.
We kind of touched on him with, like, talking about, like, what would happen. What would you do if you were yourself, but then everybody was telling you that you weren't? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's, like, got half memories and stuff. Next character was during the episode where Finn was all. This is actually before the breaking of Finsword.
Yeah.
But it's also a big one. It was the music hole.
I actually don't remember the musical one at all.
Like, at all?
I might have just completely forgotten.
It's the voice actors who sang, Come Along With Me.
You keep on saying the musical. You mean to say the Battle of the Band.
Yeah.
Battle of the Band.
It wasn't really a Battle of the Band.
That's how my brain works!
Oh, okay. No, I'm not saying musical. I'm saying it's literally called the music hole. That's the character.
I hate that you said that too fast so I heard musical.
No, that's funny.
I hate.
But you understand now. That's the joke.
Yeah.
She's a musical.
Fuck you! I'm never gonna be able to process it.
Never gonna be able to process it.
The only way I can process it is while I'm beating you to death. That's the only time that I'm gonna be able to process it.
Finn's parents.
The fact that before...
I thought you were about to, like, go, I have depression.
But the fact that we see Martin before he became the piece of shit, that he's like a kind of on the smart side, smooth talker.
Yeah.
And kind of selfless, where like he's able to put others before himself.
Yeah.
And then his mother being a helper and all that kind of stuff, and also being kind of smart. Like, them together absolutely makes sense, and you can kind of see bits of Finn in both of them.
Yeah.
That's the big part, where, like, you have to, like, when making parent characters, it's very easy to be like, personality, and split.
He does still share some of those, like, selfish tendencies of Martin.
Yeah.
Like, we even get to see, like, he has grown a lot as well. One episode that I always forget about.
The
Bun Bun episode, yeah. Where he apologizes.
Yeah.
And he says, when I apologize to you, I didn't know what I was apologizing for.
Now I do. That was a huge line right there. That was a huge line.
That is one of the craziest lines I've ever heard in a show, because every other show goes like, I'm sorry, okay, you're forgiven. This show said, like, I'm sorry, we need time. We need time apart.
Yeah.
And then he comes again, like, probably at this point it's maybe been a year and a half at least.
Yeah, because they say he's 16 now in season.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
There's an episode in season 10 called 17.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
The show ends with him being 17. Speaking of which, we now need to get to the two biggest characters of the season of the show, Finn and Jake. Jake didn't have as much character development, but
the development that he did have was with his kids and how he's trying to improve.
He's understanding that he's getting older, and like breaks my heart in so many ways.
The fact that he's the dog.
Yeah, he's a dog becoming older and understanding that he can't do a lot of the things he used to. He's becoming older, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Finn, on the other hand, is coming older. And he's learning a lot.
Yeah.
He's becoming a better person. Because, in all fairness, I can see that somebody who goes around and learns perspectives of all these different people, of course you're going to end up learning, like, the best kind of lessons from all these different people. Exactly. If you're surrounded by shitty people, you're going to learn shitty lessons.
Yeah.
If you're surrounded by people like Marceline, who's lived over 1,000 years, then you're going to learn something important.
Yeah. But Finn has had some insane things happen to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that one of those things is that he now has almost an exact clone of himself.
And another one of those things is that he found out that his people are still alive.
Yeah, like, there are more humans. His mom is a computer now.
And his dad is dead.
His dad, like, that's
his parents are dead.
That's something that I realized too, that I want to tell you, Duke, that his mom and dad are both out of consciousness states of being, but they're in their own way.
That was the funniest thing about when we finished this show, of I'm getting ready to grab some food as I say, like, yep, and then both his parents are dead. And then the moment I go to close the fridge, I just see Mayhem charging at me.
Just to tell realization!
Just to tell me this revelation. And I'm like, oh god, I'm about to be murdered. Yes. I mean, I deserve it, but still.
Just how his mom has uploaded her brain to a computer mind thing, and then his father escaped reality.
What was your favorite part of the entire 2 seasons?
I would have to say it was the mini arcs.
The mini arcs, really?
Yeah, Stakes and Islands, like they were different, and they did a whole lot of character development. Yeah. That's what I really like in long running shows, is really good character development. And that's what we got.
Yeah. It's time that we move on to the last part of the show.
This is going to be the final part.
I'm going to prepare you.
Oh.
So, first off, there's of course going to be more mini arcs.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty more. In fact, the last episode, it's a 4-parter episode, is the last episode.
Okay.
It was an hour-long episode back when it first came out.
Okay.
I'm going to let you know right now, we start off with a mini arc.
Hey!
Yeah, we get right into it. There's a mini arc right away.
I like that.
Overall, Season 9 prepares for what is to come.
Oh.
While Season 10 ties up loose ends of the show at that point.
Yeah, I'm still just like, what on earth is going to happen that like everybody's like preparing for?
A lot. I'm just telling you right now, there is a lot of things that are going to be happening. And, like, I remember clear as day one of those scenes that is coming up.
Yeah.
It was the episode that I finally came back to Adventure Time, and it hooked me so good that I went, wait, what's going on here? Because it's going to be exploring some very dark backstories of different characters. It's going to be exploring some very important elements of different characters, and just a lot is going to happen, dude. Like, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a cool ride.
That's interesting to hear.
You ready to go?
I'm never ready, but I guess we'll do it.
Well, now to talk about Susan Strong's boobs!
Yeah! Oh, you guys are still here?
Maybe they want more videos.
No. Or?
But we have a few videos on screen now.
Oh, and if they're still here, I know that they could like and subscribe.
They could do that. And maybe check out our Twitter, @GreenVillain22. Or maybe check out our Instagram, @TheGreenVillains.
We even have a Twitch that you can check out, the Green Villain stream.
What are you guys waiting for?
I don't know. They should check all that out.